Water. It's the heaviest thing you carry on the trail. A gallon of water weighs 8.34 pounds. And if you're trying to go ultralight, before you upgrade your tent, your sleeping bag, or any other piece of gear, you need to ask yourself, am I being ultralight with my water system? This is the water system I use for almost all of my backpacking trips in the summer in the Alpine. I carry 2 soft flasks. They each have a built-in filter, and I carry a soft storage like this that can, carry up to 2 liters of water. This is one reason why also I only use backpacks like this Durston that have the running style vest in the front. This allows me to carry my water right here, easy to drink, and easy to see how much I have left. Most of the time, this extra bladder stays empty. The reason why is it's not smart to carry a bunch of extra weight by water if you're coming to stream crossings fairly regularly. That's pretty normal in the mountains of Colorado or California where there's water sources in the summer all around. What I do when I come to a stream, if this is full, I go ahead and down it. I just chug it. And then I take my empty one and unscrew, scoop up some dirty water, unfiltered water, put the cap back on. It's full now, put it back in my pouch, and I'm hiking. I don't spend a lot of time sitting there filtering and wasting my time when I could be on the trail. And most of the time, if I have lots of streams that I'm coming towards, I'm not carrying more than a liter. These 2 are it, because I know in another mile, I'm gonna come to another stream and I can do the same thing again. The broader principle here is drink water when you can and don't carry more than you need to. So for me, again, it's a liter of water. If I know I'm gonna go longer between streams or I'm gonna, leave camp and go tag a summit and come back and I may be 5 or 6 hours without water, that's where this larger bladder comes into play. I can fill this with 2 liters and I can have a liter here, total capacity 3, and that'll get me up and down a peak and back to camp where I have water again. The idea here is don't carry more water than you need. Just because you have room in your hydration bladders or your soft flasks doesn't mean you need to fill it. It's kind of similar to all the ultralight principles. We pack our fears. Well, is there a fear that you might run out of water? That's a very real thing. You don't want to run out of water. But knowing how your body reacts, knowing how you can do without water, knowing where the water sources are, allows you to go with less weight. It's no different than knowing the weather and knowing that you don't need to bring an expedition parka and a smaller, down jacket is going to cut it and keep you warm. It's the same principle here, except you're applying it to water. The advantages to my system are several. 1, it is lighter and it allows you to be more adaptable. 2, you never have to stop and actually filter water because I only ever fill these and I only ever fill this with unfiltered dirty water. I never have to take the time to get out a pump and go through the whole thing to get the water the way I want it. It's all dirty. And what comes out here is perfectly clean, filtered, and hopefully gonna keep you from getting a stomach bug. Another advantage to my system is weight. These soft flasks are about as light as anything you can store water in. Another advantage is you know how much water you've had to drink throughout the day. If you use a hydration bladder that goes in the back, it's hidden from you. You don't really know how much is in it. Have you ever had that experience where you're kind of shaking around trying to feel if there's any left? Are you at the bottom of your water? Do you have a bunch? I've had it before where I've gotten to camp, I realized I hadn't drank much water all day. And then you're trying to play catch up to get hydrated before the next day. And so you're drinking a bunch of water as you're setting up camp and trying to cook dinner. And then you're inevitably gonna have to go pee multiple times in the middle of the night, in the dark, in the cold. And I don't know about you, but I don't like getting out of my tent in the middle of the night. Sometimes it's fun to see the stars, but I'd rather do it on my own terms and not because my bladder's making me. Disadvantages to my system? Well, again, you have to know where the water sources are. I would argue that's not much of a disadvantage because you should already be reading the beta, knowing if streams are flowing and knowing where your water sources are. This obviously won't work in the winter. This kind of filter system tends to freeze up, so I wouldn't use this in the winter. And there's always the risk that one of these filters doesn't work, but that's a risk in any system. Obviously, not every time of year and not every location this will work. Sometimes it's dry, sometimes the streams have, gone dry because it's later in the summer and there's no melt coming off the mountain anymore. So in a situation like that, I would probably carry more water. I would carry maybe more than just this. I might throw in an extra liter one of these so I could carry up to 4 liters, even 5 if I needed to, if I was in the desert or started at a lower elevation where it was going to be very hot. Even though if a source of water is dry that I thought was going to be there, The risk is not as high as you might think because I'm not carrying no water, I'm just carrying less water. It just means I have to go a little bit longer before the next source. Ultralight backpacking is not just about reducing the weight of your tent and your sleep system and all the gear that you bring with you. It's about reducing your total overall weight. Base weight is a really useful measurement for comparing your gear to others, but total weight is what you actually feel and what you have to lug up the mountain or down the trail. 1 liter of water weighs a little more than 2 pounds, so even reducing 1 unnecessary liter of water will save you more weight than any other expensive upgrade you can buy.